Hi, this is Suchi and today I'll show you how can we analyze single field or single variable with the help of histogram. So basically a histogram, how the histogram visualizes the data. In a histogram we actually split the data, split a continuous range of data into small ranges and smaller ranges or smaller bins or buckets, whatever you want to say, and then we check the frequency within each bucket. That clearly means is how many data points are lying between 4 to 5 or how many data points are lying between 5 to 6 and so on. So here we can check the happiness score and we want to see how many countries are there which are having a happiness score within this range 4 to 5 or maybe 5 to 6 or maybe 6 to 7. This is our end goal. So first let us check what is the minimum point of this data. So how we can do this? Mean function, right? Then we can select this. Mean function only takes the range. Give us the minimum value within this range. Again, we can check the max the same way. Max function, this range, and we got the minimum value and maximum value. Now we can take the nearest possible integer below this minimum value as a minimum. So how we can do that? That is floor. So our floor value here is 2 and here we will not take floor, we will take the ceiling value. So ceiling.math, then we will select E2, we can get 8. So we are going to plot the data between 2 to 8. And now let me tell you, in histogram, we may wonder that how many bins we can have. There are different type of rules, but the guideline says that we should have bins between 2 to 20. We can split into maybe 12 if we take 0.5 as the bin width. So let's say we are taking 0.5 as a bin width. Then we can say 2.5 is the first bin, then 3.0, and then we can just drag it to the last point. So we have got 2.53, 3.54, 4.5 up to 8. Now what does this mean? Here I want to know how many data points are falling under this value. Okay, how many data points are there which are below 2.5? Here what will come? How many data points are there which are more than 2.5 but below 3? And how many data points are falling under 3 to 3.5 will come here and so on. Now how to calculate this part is, first we need to use the frequency function, which is a statistics function, but that is one array function. So as it is an array function, it will generate the result in an array. So what we have to do is we have to select the whole thing here and we will click here to type the function frequency, and then there are two parameters. One is data array and the bins array. So what is data array? Data array will be our data part, and then bins array is our bins part, right? So this is our bins part. We have selected. Our formula has become frequency of this data where the bins are these. Now what we have to do is, if we press only enter, it won't work. What we have to press is Control Shift then enter, and it will create the frequency for all the beans. Okay, now we have all these frequencies here. Our next task is just to plot it. Now, as we have this beans and frequency already prepared, we will prepare the labels for our axis. Okay, so how we will do that is, it's very simple. We will append this. So this bucket is actually representing 2.5 to 3. So I'll just do this. And I will drag this to this pin. And now for 2.5 what we will do is we will just append it with it is coming from 0 to 2.5, so I'll keep it like this, or we can keep it as 2 to 2.5 for our convenience. As we already know, right, that we don't have any value below this. Now what we have to do is we need to select this and we have to go to insert. We will click here, we will insert a chart here. And now this chart is not at all a histogram, but how we can make it? We remove unnecessary things. So beans we have to delete. This series we have to delete. Now this one. Now it doesn't look like a histogram just because the gap between these bars is huge. How we can manage that? We have to just right click on these bars, and then we have to click on format data series. We will have this. And here we can see series options. Here we can see series options, and what we can do is here we can change the gap width, and it will now look like a histogram. I'll change the color anyways. You can change the color from here. Fill color you can change. Let me keep it. You can also change the border color if you want. Let's say solid line I am putting with this blue color itself. How it looks like. This is how it looks like. Now this is not much it does not show anything. It is not meaningful yet until and unless we put a title, subtitle, axis title, these things. So first we are going to give this distribution of happiness scores in 2019. Now what I can say, this is written as frequency, but we will change it. We'll remove this. Let us add axis title, primary horizontal axis title. We can add primary vertical axis title. We can name it as happiness score range, and here we can say it as number of countries. Okay, so number of countries falling under that range. We can also add data labels here, so we can see clearly what is the count, what is the frequency. You can see that maximum number of countries are having a happiness score between 6 to 6.5, which is 28 countries are having this range. Now this is the way, this is how we have done it manually. But let me give you one good news that Excel already has a feature, which is we can plot histogram directly by selecting this data. We can go to insert, we can plot histogram here, and it will plot a histogram. Only thing is the range, only difference is we were customizing our histogram. We are creating our histogram based on our customized values here, customized beans here, but this histogram is actually plotted automatically based on the automatic binning logic of Excel. But now we can customize it according to our need. What we can do, we can just select this chart. We can select this chart, we can click here and we can say format axis. If we want to change the bin range, then we just need to select the horizontal axis option from here. Then we can see this axis option. Click on axis option. Here we can see bin width option. So bin width option is basically what we decided to keep our bin width as 0.5. That is why we selected this range. But here, as you can see, the range is being taken from the lowest value and the highest value up to the highest value approximately. So now what we can do is we can change the bin width according to our need. I can select it as 0.5 and it will automatically change the graph according to our need. So in the previous approach, what happened is we decided what will be the bin range and all those things. But if we want to change it, we have to do a lot of work here. We have to change a lot of things. But if we want to change this chart, this is very easy. Actually having all those customization options, we just need to go to format axis and we can easily change. You can easily change, the beans width and number of beans even we can select. So we just need to go to horizontal axis. We just need to click here and we have to select these things. So let's say if I am selecting, okay, I want 15 beans here. So it will create that. It will easily create that and I can just dynamically change this bin width and I can check what is the distribution of the data based on that bin width. So bin width, number of beans, these things are easily customizable for this histogram option which is Excel provided.